Hi there, I'm Hasse Froberg and I'm the singer and guitar player in the Flower Kings and you're watching Live Prog.
I was not familiar with them, but thanks to Wim Strijbos from Lakai in Helmond I now know them. And the album that they released really intrigued me and I gotta say I really enjoyed listening to it. Who am I talking about? Modest Midget. And the album is called The Great Prophecy of a Small Man.
80 years ago they said jazz was moving fast ahead to erase and free your mind instead. Now it seems so strange how far we've come.
It's an interesting album and it's a very interesting band. Now before I got to do the review, I had a chance to see these guys live on stage when they were supporting Hasse Froberg and the musical companion in Lakai in Helmond. I had heard the album, so I kind of knew what the music would be all about, but still their performance really surprised me. It was a whole lot of fun to watch it and you could really see the band was enjoying themselves. Now I finally get a chance to do the review. Modest Midget. Well, the name already is very interesting. I mean, how do you come up with a name like that? Now, I had the chance to have a chat with Lionel Ziblat, who's the man behind Modest Midget, and the rest of the band as well. Really nice guys, we had a nice talk, and along the way, one of the names that came up was Gentle Giant. Now, that's also a similar kind of name, and that was sort of the inspiration to come up with Modest Midget. They didn't want to do the same, of course, but they want to find some similar combination. Then the album. In a little over 45 minutes, Modest Midget brings you 13 songs on this album. And I gotta say, it was really amazing to listen. I really enjoyed it because this is music that brings a smile to your face. Now, there's a lot of music that conveys a lot of different kinds of emotions, but I don't get a lot of albums that brings out the same kind of emotion as this. This is music that makes you happy, that makes you want to dance, you know, that makes, well, it can brighten up your whole day. As for the prog part, I wouldn't really call it progressive rock. It has proggy elements in it, it has some nice keyboards here and there, but it's a different kind of music. I gotta say, in a couple of songs when I was listening to it, the Beatles jumped into my mind. That was an association I made when I heard this music. Yourself in your mind a studio recording from way back from the Beatles and they're standing there and they're playing their music. That is, well, I would picture Modest Midget in that same position, you know, and bringing their music. Often when you listen to the music, it almost feels like it comes from the late 60s, early 70s, you know. They bring that kind of an atmosphere, a sound to you. And I gotta say, I absolutely love that. I really enjoyed listening to the album. The opener track, the first one, is called Follow the Noise. Well, yes, exactly, that's what it is, you know, it's a bit of noise. So well, when we come to the first real song, which is incidentally one of my favorites of this album, it's called Contemporary Ache. Listen to the lyrics on that song, it's really interesting. You hear references of Bach and jazz playing along, you know, it's very funny. There's a lot of humor in the music as well. Troubles in Heaven, the third track, is also very nice. There's one track that stood out for me, and not for no reason, because, well, I think you can see which track I mean. It's an instrumental track and it's called Jorge Knows How Difficult a Musician's Life Can Be, but then again, who doesn't? I think a song title like that shows a little bit, you know, the fun and the humor that these guys have. The main man of this band project, I'm still not sure if it's a band or a project, at least at the stage of this album, but Lionel Ziblat originally comes from Israel. Now, of course, he's taking his cultural baggage with him, and you hear elements of it in the music. But he's living in Holland for quite some time, And well, he gathered around him a couple of other musicians, and together they recorded this album. Now, it's a few of them, but Lionel Ziblat really does a lot. I mean, if you look at what he does, he sings. He's a very nice singer. I really enjoy listening to his voice, and especially if you see him on stage, well, it's really a treat to watch this band live. Modest Midget, if you get a chance, see them. But he also does guitars, and on the album he does acoustic, electric and Spanish guitars. He does keyboards, bass guitar and sample sequences and percussion elements, so he does a lot. There's some other musicians that do some more classical instruments like soprano, alto, tenor and baritone saxophones. A lot of different kinds of saxophones you hear in this album. Classical instruments, because there's also violin, there's a string section, and there are clarinets and viola. So a lot of string elements, a lot of classical instruments used on this music. I mentioned the Beatles sound-wise, but of course that description would not do justice to this music, because it is by no means a copy or a clone of the Beatles, or even, you know, trying to be. It stands on its own, but you know, the idea when you listen to the music comes to your mind. Sound-wise, it is of course a different kind of music. It has jazzy elements, it has, well, some classical elements, some poppy elements as well. But what's most important, at least that's my opinion, what's added to this music is a bit of circus, a bit of cabaret. You know, that brings in the humor, but they do it in such an amazing way that it's just a treat to listen to this album. From start to finish, and it's not a very long album, but it's a lot of fun to listen to. I really enjoyed it. You know, if I feel sad, if I feel down, I play this music, I'm happy again. Guaranteed, absolutely. The album is around for a while. I mean, it was released in 2010, but you know, I only discovered it a few months ago, so there's a chance that you never heard of it. Well, here's your chance. Modest Midget, Great Prophecy of a Small Man. This is the cover. But there's not much artwork inside. I mean, I showed you the back already. On the inside you only have some lyrics, and well, here you have the CD. It's a really beautiful album. It's really nice to listen to. So, you know, I absolutely recommend you get a copy of this. And what I even more recommend is, if you get a chance to see Modest Midget live on stage, see them. This band will really give you a fantastic night, a great performance, very entertaining, well, just as the album. Modest Midget, The Great Prophecy of a Small Man.